Good evening, welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines in the south. Stuck on a trolley crying for help. One woman's experience in A&E at Portsmouth's QA hospital.
I thought, this is where I'm going to die, is in this corridor. When I called and screamed, they didn't come.
The building blocks of early education, how hundreds of families in Southampton are missing out on free childcare.
A customer service that didn't fit the bill. Vodafone pay the price with a multi-million-pound fine.
And a ladybird invasion. Have you spotted more of the bugs than usual? Good evening to you. A former nurse has told ITV Meridian how she was forced to wait for hours on a hospital trolley in a corridor at the Queen Alexandra in Portsmouth. 59-year-old Kim Puddick was suffering from stomach pains and was rushed to A&E by ambulance on Sunday night.
This week it emerged patients were waiting for up to 7 hours in ambulances queuing outside the hospital. And MPs have met with the hospital's chief executive in a bid to tackle the ongoing problems. Well, in June, A&E services at the QA were rated inadequate by the Care Quality Commission. Inspectors found patients arriving by ambulance were not assessed quickly enough. There was severe overcrowding in the emergency department and delays in on-call medical teams seeing patients.
Well, Kim told our reporter Mary Stanley she was left angry and belittled by her experience.
Kim Puddick spent 4 hours on a trolley in the doorway of Portsmouth's QA hospital after a severe reaction to out-of-date medication left her in agony. Lying in soiled clothes, she says the experience has left her humiliated, angry and in tears.
If this was an 80-year-old that had been admitted unwell, but alone, they wouldn't have been there by Monday morning. They'd have died in that corridor Sunday night, early hours of Monday morning, because I really thought that that was what was going to happen. I thought, this is where I'm going to die.
Earlier this year, the Care Quality Commission rated the hospital as inadequate, with patients at unacceptable risk. Now MPs from the region have met the interim chief executive for reassurances about the future.
We have to hold on to the fact that the Care Quality Commission did say that the QA was excellent on a number of areas, including intensive care, very good at things like maternity care and services for young people. But this A&E, this front door service, is absolutely fundamental. We have to get it right.
The hospital says it can't comment on Kim's case because of confidentiality, but added, "Our emergency department experienced a huge surge in demand on Monday, with large numbers of patients needing urgent care, including those involved in a serious road accident. We continue to urge people to think about their choice of healthcare, for example, consulting a GP or local pharmacy. This allows our emergency department to concentrate on those people with serious life-threatening conditions." Off-camera, staff here told ITV Meridian that this week's problems in A&E were not one-off, that they're working under relentless pressure, that recruitment of staff is difficult and morale extremely low.
18 years I worked for the NHS throughout having a family, and it was always paramount: dignity, confidentiality. That was like a third world country up there.
Kim's case is one of many, and other patients have contacted ITV Meridian to praise staff for coping with such huge demand.
And our reporter Mary Stanley is live outside the QA now. Mary, what do we know about patients forced to wait in ambulances on Monday night?
South Central Ambulance has told us that some patients were forced to wait up to 7 hours in ambulances outside A&E here. Simply not enough cubicles or staff to treat them. And it's not the first time this has happened. These are pictures taken from January of ambulances queuing outside. The hospital said it was due to unprecedented demand. And it's preparing already for this winter, with building underway in A&E to allow more patients to be seen and assessed quicker. We've also got a statement from South Central Ambulance Service, who told us meetings with senior managers at the hospital have taken place to identify the issues that led to these delays. We would like to reassure people that despite the number of ambulances waiting at the hospital, there were still vehicles available in the local area.
Mary, thank you.
In other news, a moped rider has died in a collision in Portsmouth. The 52-year-old man from Gosport collided with a pickup truck at the Kirple Road junction with the Eastern Road at 6:30 this morning. The truck driver wasn't hurt. There were long delays in the area throughout the rush hour.
Some of the poorest and most vulnerable families in the south are missing out on free childcare.
Parents on low incomes and claiming benefits are entitled to 15 hours free childcare a week for their 2-year-olds. Children who are disabled or have special educational needs also qualify.
Kerry Swain reports from Southampton, where hundreds of families are not taking advantage of the scheme.
2-year-old Sonny is so confident in childcare, he's playing with me within minutes of our meeting. A bowl of water filled with pumpkin seeds, the kind of messy play rarely encouraged at home. Twins Jaden and Scarlett intent on building bricks. Born 10 weeks early, their development accelerated by a year in playgroup.
I was very worried because there was a lot of stumbling. We thought that they were going to be a bit backwards and that their prematurity was going to be an issue. No, the teams have been fab. They've caught up with their prematurity. They're now up and beyond the levels that they should be.
From the age of 2, children are entitled to up to 15 hours a week free childcare paid for by the government if their parents are on £16,000 a year or less, receive benefits or support under the Immigration and Asylum Act. Those with special needs also qualify. But many vulnerable families are not coming forward, and that's of particular concern in Southampton, where nearly a quarter of children live in poverty.
Just over 900 children received free childcare in Southampton this summer, but that's only 70% of eligible households. The government's national target is 80%.
The initial way that parents would find out about it is they would be getting one of these postcards. But I think because we get so much stuff through our doors, when parents actually see this, they might think it's a circular and just throw it in the bin.
It's not about shoving school down their throat earlier. This has been proven to help young children to get a good start. It helps in terms of how ready they are for school, and there's been links made between this kind of early intervention and then their outcomes and their performance at things like GCSE later on.
I'm a single mum. The twins were totally unexpected pregnancy and a big surprise when I found out they were twins. So I did struggle a lot with my mental health when I found out I was pregnant with the twins. I've had a little bit of time to myself, been able to sort of see if I'm able to go back to work or to chase up courses that I wanted to do, and it's helped with my illness as well.
Well, I was single on my own, it was quite hard work, to be honest, because it's like 24/7. He loves it here, and he don't say very much at the moment because he's on speech and language, but he's picked up so many words. He's come on leaps and bounds.
Another 300 2-year-olds in Southampton could be enjoying free childcare. The City Council believes there may be cultural barriers. Early education is not usual in some ethnic minorities. It hopes to convince every family of the benefit. Kerry Swain, ITV News.
Proposals to create 2 super councils in Dorset by reorganising 9 local authorities have been raised during Prime Minister's questions. A public consultation over the plans closed yesterday. The MP for Christchurch, Christopher Chope, called on the government to assure it will not agree to the abolition of Christchurch or East Dorset councils against the will of constituents.
We believe it's important for local people to come together and to determine what is right for them. I know my right honourable friend is trying to build a consensus in Dorset as to what the right way forward is. I think it's right that local people are able to respond to the consultation and that their concerns are listened to.
Well, you're watching ITV News here in the Meridian region. Coming up, Simon with more on a ladybird invasion. Have you spotted any?
Not yet. Plus, making dreams come true. We meet the children who've been given the holiday of a lifetime.
For all of our stories, head to itv.com/Meridian. Any views or news, call us 0808 1010 095 or get in touch via Facebook. Or if you like, why not send us a tweet at ITV Meridian.
Now it's one of the biggest companies in the region, but today it emerged Vodafone is one of the worst for customer service.
The telecommunications giant, which has its global headquarters in Berkshire, now faces a £4.6 million fine for its failures.
The regulator Ofcom said the firm had misled its pay-as-you-go customers and broken the rules on handling complaints.
It's earned itself the top spot on the list of most complained about mobile phone providers, as Kate Bunkle now reports.
It's one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world and also one of the most complained about. Today, that reputation caught up with Vodafone. The firm has been fined £4.6 million by the regulator Ofcom for misleading customers and mishandling complaints. Susan Collard isn't surprised. She's been fighting with Vodafone since last year. She paid almost £700 to the company to terminate her grandson's contract early. But just a few months later, they took a further £630 to settle the same bill. When she cancelled the payment with the bank, they contacted a debt collection agency.
The last 13 months has been hell for me because of not being able to get sorted out. Nobody seems to have an answer. And I owe no money, but according to them, they've got a debt collection agency on to me for £729, and I don't owe it.
The fine for Vodafone comes after 2 investigations. One found that more than 10,000 pay-as-you-go customers hadn't had their accounts topped up despite paying for credit. In a statement, a spokesman said, "We are completely focused on serving our customers. Everyone who works for us is expected to do their utmost to meet our customers' needs. It's clear from Ofcom's findings that we did not do that often enough or well enough on a number of occasions." This afternoon, after ITV Meridian intervened, Vodafone admitted they'd made a mistake with Susan's account and have promised to ensure debt collectors don't trouble her again. Kate Bunkle, ITV News.
Well, plenty of viewers' views for you on our Facebook page. Mary Burrows says her family's phones were useless, so they cancelled just a few months before the end of their contract. She adds, "We paid the outstanding bill, but a year on we're being chased by debt collectors for a cancellation charge that has now risen to over £900. We're getting texts, phone calls and letters every few days. It's harassment."
And Wayne Carey says, referring to the £4 million fine, that's all well and good, but where does all the money go to? Will customers ever get it? Interesting point. Thanks to everyone who got in touch.
More news now. A man and a woman have been charged with importing Class A drugs after 5 kilos of cocaine was discovered in a suitcase at Gatwick Airport. The drugs had a street value of £165,000 and had arrived on a flight from St Lucia. The pair, who are from London and in their early 20s, will appear in court next month.
Brighton's best-known historic hotel, The Grand, is getting a £3 million restoration. The 12-month project will see the 152-year-old hotel return to its former glory with new windows and extended balconies. The hotel will remain open throughout the changes.
Well, now, many charities encourage people to look out for elderly neighbours who may be feeling lonely.
In fact, one man, Bob Lowe from Barton-on-Sea in Hampshire, wrote a poem after his wife died as he talked of an overwhelming feeling of isolation.
Yes, Bob got in touch with Silverline, set up by Esther Ranson, whom we'll be talking to in just a few minutes.
But it's not just the elderly who suffer. People with sight loss can also struggle alone. Here's Emily Knight.
Laughter and friendship, but 2 years ago Graham Hawks's life was very different. He was made redundant and struggled to find work because of his poor eyesight. He felt isolated and lost.
I found it difficult because at work you had all your work colleagues and that to chat to and have a laugh around with and that. And when you're just sitting at home, although you've got your wife and your son here with you, it's not the same because they're out all day and you're just left here really. It wasn't good.
Through a friendship scheme, he met Sam Tracy and started getting out of the house and meeting people. It turned Graham's life around.
That guy that I met 2 years ago that sat there was very, very down, and he's just come along so much, like his confidence. He takes part in training sessions. He runs his own coffee afternoon. he speaks up at meetings and things like that. It's absolutely amazing. We really are proud of him.
Very often people can have depression as a consequence, so they turn in on themselves, and befriending is just a way of reaching out to people who are isolated in the community, reaching out to them and encouraging them back in and to live an independent life and life that's full of friends.
For Graham, having a bit of company has boosted his confidence and given him back his independence. He now runs his own social events to help others. Emily Knight, ITV News.
Well, delighted to say we're joined by Hampshire-based television presenter Esther Ranson. Esther, this scheme is about people of all ages who are lonely. Your charity, Silverline, supports elderly people. Are most of the calls your charity takes about loneliness?
We've just taken our millionth call this August, and the vast majority of our calls are about loneliness.
That's extraordinary. I mean, the sad fact is some elderly people can go a long time without seeing anyone, can't they?
Most of the callers to the Silverline helpline tell us they have nobody else to have a conversation with. And I remember one lady said to me, "It's so lovely to talk to someone who really seems to care what I think." So I think we do have to be aware that an awful lot of older people feel that they're past their sell-by date, or as one lady put it to me, "I face another pointless day when I'm a waste of space." It's important that we make sure older people feel valued, and conversation is a very easy way.
And very important for lonely people to have a visitor.
Very important to have a visitor, but even more important for that visitor, no matter how busy they are, and I think busyness has become a national addiction, just to pause and think for a moment, is there a joke I can share? Is there a memory we can share? Is there a piece of news that we can discuss? Make time for a conversation.
Good advice. Tell us why people should get involved in the Befriend scheme, or indeed a scheme like Silverline.
Well, it's very easy to become a volunteer for the Silverline because it only takes half an hour to an hour a week from your own home, and you go onto our website and you'll see how to do it, or you can write letters to someone. Quite a lot of our callers really love receiving letters. So if you get onto our website or you ring our number 0800 4 70 80 90. 0800 4 70 80 90, 0800 4 70 80 90. Poor Fred, you didn't ask me to sing, did you?
And obviously for people watching who are lonely, that's the best way to get help.
It's free, it's confidential, it's open 24/7, and all the Silverline team are just waiting to have a conversation, have a chat, share a joke, listen to your views.
Esther Ranson, good as always to have a chat with you. Thank you.
And with you, Fred. Thank you.
Good message and good song. And we must say hello to Bob Lowe.
Yes.
Because Bob is great, and I know that he emails occasionally. Football news now, and Reading manager Jaap Stam said his team's defeat by Arsenal last night was a good learning experience. The Royals lost 2-0 in the fourth round of the EFL Cup. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain scored both goals for the Gunners at the Emirates Stadium. Reading returned to Championship action against Nottingham Forest on Saturday.
Meanwhile, Southampton host Sunderland at St Mary's tonight in their fourth round EFL Cup tie. The Saints have lost just once to Inter Milan in the Europa League in 9 matches. But will be again without the injured Shane Long, Ryan Bertrand, Matt Targett and Cedric Suarez.
Now they're known as VICs, Very Important Children, and they've just got back from a special holiday in Orlando in Florida.
Yes, the group from the south are all living with serious illnesses and disabilities. The 10-day trip without their parents was organised by the Dream Flight Children's Charity based in Buckinghamshire.
Well, they were determined not to let their medical conditions get in the way of having a good time, and our reporter, lucky girl, Lauren Hall, went with them.
They're finally here in Florida, and they're ready to have some fun. The Dream Flight trip's now in its 30th year. It's for children with serious illnesses or disabilities, and being here's got them jumping for joy.
Florida! Really happy! I can't contain myself.
There are groups of children from all over the UK. In the Mickey Mouse group are those from the south, who told us how much they're enjoying themselves. Are you having a good time?
Yeah.
It makes you feel happy?
Yeah.
Are you having a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Can't really describe it, but it's had so much fun.
It's the holiday of a lifetime, it's brilliant.
They've joined nearly 200 other children and get to visit all the main attractions.
It's easy to see why the children are enjoying themselves so much, but this trip's not all about rides and roller coasters. It's also a chance to make new friends and gain some independence.
The children are here without their parents and are being looked after by a huge team of volunteers. The leader of our Mickey Mouse group says they're having the time of their lives.
We've seen kids try stuff that they maybe at the beginning of the week thought they wouldn't, and now they're having a go at stuff, and also just doing all the big roller coasters and really testing themselves and doing stuff that they just didn't think that they would.
The sun's been shining throughout their 10-day trip, and what better way to cool off? Many of these children simply wouldn't be able to come here without the support of the medical team, made up of doctors, nurses and physiotherapists.
Having a good time is a form of treatment in itself, and it enables them to get more confidence. It enables them to know that there is such thing as fun in the world. They're all treated as equal and they're seen as the people they are, not what they've got. And I think that makes a huge difference to the children.
Their trip wouldn't be complete without meeting Mickey Mouse and some of the other cuddly characters.
Yay!
There are more friends to be made when they go swimming with dolphins. Did you enjoy that?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That's a very big smile there. Did you have fun with the dolphins?
Yeah, I had a brilliant time with the dolphins, didn't you?
Oh, I don't know what to say. It was just amazing.
Did you get to give one of them a kiss?
Yeah.
What was that like?
First kiss ever.
Your first kiss ever?
Yeah.
It's particularly special for Harley from Wimborne in Dorset, who's blind.
Very, very good.
Just describe it. What did the dolphins feel like?
Very, very rubbery.
And what sort of noises did she make?
Like clicks.
All the children have been making friends and making memories. As it comes to an end, it's clear this has been so much more than just a holiday. Lauren Hall, ITV News.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. And lots of stories from Mum and Dad. Simon's with us now. Si.
Yeah, when a dream flight becomes a nightmare flight. You remember yesterday, our ladybird invasion?
Yes.
Well, have a look at this video. This was sent in by Carl. And how scary would it be to find your car completely overrun by ladybirds? Look, although I suspect the ones that thought, I know, let's move into that nice little handy bit where the door lock fits. We'll have a rethink when the door gets shut. But here's a picture from Claire Taylor in Southampton, who got in touch to say that they release pheromones as a means of communication during mating and hibernation. They can be detected by others up to a quarter of a mile away, and that's the corner of her room. Like, she's consequently fed up with them. Debbie Lorraine Josephine Williams, big name, in Curbridge. Today says her house was covered, even got through the double glazing. And Alicia Cookson in Dorset says that they've been affecting her as well. June Bender has given us the information we need. They are harlequin ladybirds. They come over from Asia, and they'll scupper our own ladybirds and then stay forever. So,
have you actually seen one?
Not that I know of.
No, nor have I.
They're on your car.
I have seen a very good weatherman. Here he is.
From blizzards to pool, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Now, also last night we had a look at some pictures of birds, and that prompted a reminder of a famous song from Jim Marshall in Sussex. Let's see, how's it go again? 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. Now, was it 3, 4, 3, 4? Oh, yeah, a fight. That's right, absolutely. Well, it is in Jim's garden anyway, but certainly the birds enjoying the weather at the minute because it's fine and settled. And to be honest, nothing is going to change. High pressure very much in charge down to the south of us, keeping the weather fronts well and truly at bay. The rain staying out to the north and west. So for us, well, there might be an odd spot of drizzle as we head through tomorrow, but nothing worse than that. That said, of course, we are going to see some mist and fog. We have a Met Office this weather warning, because just like last night, when we get the clear spells, we'll see the murk developing, and it could be slow and lingery first thing tomorrow morning. So a quiet, still night. Temperatures where we got the cloud generally staying up into the 8s and 9s, up towards double figures. So it shouldn't be a cold start tomorrow, but do give yourself a bit of extra time, because where we have the fog today, we're likely to see it again tomorrow. Could give us more traffic traumas. But once that lifts into low cloud, there will be, as I say, an odd spot of drizzle, perhaps if you're very unlucky, through tomorrow. And the cloud will break up. We'll see some bright or sunny spells, but with more cloud around, not quite as warm as it was today. Temperatures up to around 13, 14 degrees. Winds staying relatively light, 5-10 miles an hour, probably at worst. As for your high tide times, well, on the Isle of Wight, we're looking at 9:05 in the morning, then 9:20 in the evening, and then no change at all as we head into the weekend. Certainly murky mornings and a fair bit of cloud by day.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
And that's what's happening this Wednesday night. In just a moment, we've got the ITV Evening News with Mary Nightingale and Mark Austin.
Kerry Swain's got Our Late News. Join her if you can. But for now, from the team here at ITV Meridian, thank you as always very much indeed for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.